Hello everybody, welcome back to C8 Corvettes in beautiful sunny Sarasota, Florida. It's your Corvette buddy Lyle here to talk to you about more interesting, exciting, and hopefully cool Corvette stuff. Today we're going to cover a subject that we talked about a couple years ago, but man, a lot's happened in the Corvette world since then. Let's talk about whether the Corvette is a supercar in 2026. Before we start, let's define what makes a supercar. Is it the speed? Is it the price? Is it the prestige? Because if that's the case, then the Chevrolet Corvette shouldn't belong in the same conversation as Ferraris or Lamborghinis or any of the stuff even higher up the financial ladder. And yet, here we are in 2026, and the Corvette is not just competing with supercars. In some ways, it's beating them at their own game. So today, let's talk about why the Corvette has earned the title of America's supercar, at least in my opinion, and why that matters now more than ever. Before we talk Corvette, we need to define the term supercar. Traditionally, supercars check a few boxes: exotic design, extreme performance, limited production or exclusivity, and usually a very, very high price tag. That's why brands like Ferrari and Lamborghini have dominated this space for decades. From the very beginning, the Corvette wasn't about exclusivity, it was about accessibility. Since 1953, Chevrolet has built a Corvette to deliver world-class performance at a price that real enthusiasts and people who worked for a living could actually reach. And that philosophy hasn't changed. Even today, the Corvette C8 offers performance numbers that rival cars costing 2, 3, 4, 10 times as much. 0 to 60 in under 3 seconds, mid-engine layout, and supercar looks. Now, there is some debate about whether that looks like a Corvette or whether even that design is beautiful, but you're not going to mistake it for anything else. But without the six-figure barrier to entry that usually defines the segment. Let's be honest, the biggest turning point came with the C8. You all know how much I love the C5 Z06, what wonderful cars the C6 Z06 and the C7 and all its iterations were, and they were the best two-seat American-made V8-powered sports car. Period. But then we went into the C8, and that was a shift. Suddenly, Chevy moved the engine behind the driver, changing the dynamics and what was possible as far as putting power to the ground, and made Corvette something that it hadn't been before. It's not now just a performance bargain. It looks and feels like a true exotic. And that shift forced people to take it seriously in a way they hadn't before, especially internationally. It wasn't just the affordable sports car anymore. It became a legitimate supercar alternative. And now, with the higher performance versions pushing even further, the gap has closed even more. Honestly, the Z06 was a top performer in any class that you wanted to assign it to, between its lightness, its balance, its power, the beautiful engine, the amenities that it offered. But now we've got the ZR1 and the ZR1X, which really are in a class of one. What is their competition? There may be some things that compete with them in the performance area, and there may be some cars that are cool that compete with them in price, but there's nothing else that competes with them in both. So why does this matter in 2026? Because the automotive world is changing so fast. Supercars are getting more expensive, more exclusive, and in many cases less accessible than ever. At the same time, the Corvette continues to offer cutting-edge performance, everyday usability, and a price point that, while not cheap, is still within reach compared to the competition. It's one of the last cars that truly bridges that gap between dream car and reality, which is part of the reason we all grew up dreaming about them and wanting them when we got to be in our 30s, 40s, and 50s. And that's something we're starting to see less and less of. There's also something else the Corvette has that most supercars don't. They already have a massive, passionate community in place. Now, I have made videos in the past about how the Corvette hobby kind of split when the C8 was introduced because some of the old timers and some of the traditionalists didn't believe that it really was a Corvette. It was a great car, but it wasn't a Corvette. And that's why they've kept the C7 prices as high as they are. But then the C8 brought in a much more young, much more excited mobile crowd than was currently in the Corvette hobby. So that massive passionate community, even though it may have split a little bit between the front engine and the rear engine layouts, it's still a really passionate community, and it's bigger than ever. And I don't know about you, but I've noticed a real resurgence in grassroots car stuff going on. Cars and coffee meets, road trips, owners who actually drive their cars instead of locking them away, regular everyday people who are going to Sebring or Road Atlanta or Road America and taking their cars on track and doing it more than once in their life. The Corvette's a big part of that. And the Corvette isn't just a machine, it's a culture. And that accessibility has helped it stay relevant for over 70 years. So, is the Corvette a supercar? By the traditional definition, maybe not. But by what really matters, performance, presence, and the ability to deliver something special, it absolutely is. Even the base car, for what it is and for what it costs, there's nothing else in the world like it. And once you get to the top echelon of the ZR1 and the ZR1X, if you spent $3.5 million, you couldn't necessarily buy a car that could outperform it. I think this is a supercar that people can actually experience, and with a little bit of smart financial responsibility, can hopefully expect to own one day. And when they own it, it's not going to be ridiculously expensive to keep. If you've appreciated this video or any of the other videos that we've done, please don't forget to like and subscribe. When you do that, that tells YouTube that, hey, this is a cool video, and YouTube will show it to people that might not know about us. So please take care of us that way, and we'll continue to take care of you. Let me know what you think about this. I've given this some real thought, and I want to know what your opinion is, because, I mean, the C8's kind of in a class of one, certainly in America, and internationally, there's very little that can compete with it either. Do you think it's a supercar finally? And if you had to choose, would you choose a Corvette C8 or would you choose a traditional exotic, and why? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'd really love to hear what you think about this. I know that for my money, if I had $250,000, I would have a ZR1X tomorrow. Let me know what you think. Have a great week.